Good morning, everyone. My name's Jack Balkin. I'm the director of Yale's Information Society Project. And I have this very simple and easy job. This is really all I do. I show up at the beginning of a conference, and I basically tell you all, hello, it's so nice to have you here. And then I tell you a little bit about the Information Society Project and why we came up with this conference. And then I sit down, and basically that's all my job consists in. I'm basically just a front man for these wonderful people at the Information Society Project who do so much work every year to put on these wonderful conferences. This is, by the way, our 12th year, and we existed long before the Kindle and many other things. But anyway, and we've been watching these things happen and studying them. How did we decide that we were going to do a conference on Libraries 2.0? And the answer is very simple. We have been working on problems of how to secure access to knowledge in a digital age and produce knowledge for development. We have been working on issues of civil liberties online. We have been working on issues of digital education and how to make educational materials available to more people around the world. We have been working on issues of privacy. And many other questions. And every time we studied one of these questions, whether it was digital education or access to knowledge or privacy or civil liberties online, we were always brought back to a group of issues involving libraries and archives. And so we thought, well, since we keep getting led back to these issues, we might as well just have a conference on Libraries 2.0. So we approached the Rubhausen Committee at Yale, which funds various enterprises, and we told them about this project. And at first they didn't quite get it, but they didn't understand what you understand. You're all here because you understand the importance of it. But eventually they did, and they got behind it. And we're very grateful to them for funding this conference and making it possible for all of you to be here. We have a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting things packed into one day. And so I will begin the festivities by introducing my very good friend, the executive director of Yale's Information Society Project, Laura DeNardis. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Library 2.0 Symposium on behalf of the Yale Information Society Project and Yale Law School. What I would like to do is try something a little bit different this morning, if I could ask Perry to come up here. So this symposium is really about digital information centers. It's about the digital dissemination of information, and it's about the digital interactions surrounding this information. So what I have decided to do is to give my remarks digitally. So I have made a movie montage. I spent a little time in the last week with my laptop and with my camera. So I hope you enjoy it. Please watch the video.
And shelves contain a lot of books, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions. How do you feel about them? Because when you have these two important qualifications, love for books and love for people, you may well consider the vocation of a librarian.
For the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin any talking out loud with any librarian.
I'm pretty sure that was Library 1.0.
We don't
Library 4.0. The only reason we talk about Library 2.0 is to match it up with Web 2.0. But during my career as a librarian, we've gone through at least 4 stages in libraries. Library 1.0 was a print-based library. And this was a library that was dominated both by the print resources, books, and journals. And the access to those print resources were print card catalogs and print indexes.
Don't you know the Dewey Decimal System?
Library 2.0 was when we moved from the access to those print information resources to an online access. So we had large integrated library systems that were developed in-house by libraries. Library 3.0 was when we added web concepts. More recently, with Web 2.0 concepts, that is social networking, we entered what we call now Library 2.0, but it's really Library 4.0.
We try to reach out to our patrons in a variety of ways electronically. So we have access through Mevo, through Google Talk, through AIM. Students can email us whenever they have a question. I've oftentimes found myself meeting a student after having 15 conversations with them online.
Are you leaving soon? I just need a little time. What is it that drives me mad? Just like you that I never had.
We have a completely 2.0 environment here at Yale Law School. We're using it in a variety of ways. We have our catalog open to our patrons to tag bibliographic records, so they and other researchers can find them based on the terms that they find most useful. We're using Delicious to offer bookmarks of useful websites to our patrons. We have a presence on Facebook that allows people to search our catalog and search WorldCat and some other materials and communicate with us. And we also have quite a large number of us are on Twitter, and the library itself is Twitter. So we're communicating with our patrons back and forth through Twitter as well.
Why did you have to leave so sad? Why did you have to walk away? Oh, what happened again? She walked away with her boyfriend. Maybe we'll meet again someday. Maybe we'll meet again someday. Maybe we'll meet again someday.
Look, I may not be an explorer, or an adventurer, or a treasure seeker, or a gunfighter, Mr. O'Connell, but I am proud of what I am.
And what is that?
I am a librarian.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Laura DiNardis on behalf of the Yale Information Society Project. We're so happy you could join us today. Welcome to the Library 2.0 Symposium. the librarians that worked with me to put that together. So we're having fun. And in addition to reflecting one person's vision of Library 2.0, this video actually does foreshadow a lot of issues that will arise in this conference. Which clip do you think raises the most prominent issues for example, the ethics and politics of Library 2.0 panel? Clearly, it's the Sesame Street clip. They were debating, and they had a very important dialogue about books versus cookies, and I'm sure that it was not lost on this crowd that they were talking about tracking cookies and the data retention and privacy issues associated with that. Certainly, the entire video raises questions about copyright. So if we'll call this a pseudo-academic presentation, but if I wanted to show this to my class on Wednesday and I wanted to have it archived in some kind of a publicly accessible open courseware environment that perhaps a library would maintain, would I be able to post this online? And what is the role of the librarian in determining and actually looking at these types of materials and determining whether it's okay to put it up from an intellectual property standpoint? So it does raise a few issues, but really it was just to be fun. You might have noticed the song. Did anyone know what song that was playing at the end? It was a song by Green Day, the band, and it's actually called In the Library. So you might have noticed that the word library was not mentioned at all in the song. So you don't have to be in a library to be in a library. I think that's what that says about the song. But similar to that, you don't have to be at this event to be at this event. I'm very happy that everyone is here, but I would like to say a few things about how we're going to digitally distribute this symposium in both space and time. So let me fill you in on a few things. You'll notice perhaps that we're filming today. We have the crew up in the balcony, and we will be making these videos available on YouTube through Yale's YouTube channel. So that will be available to a wider audience and an international audience. So we're doing that. We also have a Facebook 2.0 interest group, if anyone is interested in joining that. We are also audio recording, so we will make those podcasts available on the Yale ISP website, which is isp.law.yale.edu. So we'll do that. I know a lot of people are blogging today. In addition to our individual blogs, we thought we would try a crowdsourcing blog environment. So we have a blog set up. It's, if anyone wants to write this down, it is yaleISPblog.net. That's yaleISPblog.net. So we have people assigned to take some notes on the speakers, to post that pretty quickly onto the website, and then we could all comment. So we will be respectful towards the speakers, but we'll just comment on the topics, and maybe we could create something really interesting out of this conference if we all put our ideas out there. So there's a Flickr account that's linked to the blog. If anyone would like to take some cell phone pictures, or if they have their camera, you're welcome to post those photos onto our Flickr account linked to the blog. So let me give you that information as well. You can log on to Flickr under the name Information Society Project, so that's easy to remember. And the password, what do you think the password is? Library 2.0. Okay, so everyone's okay with that. We're also going to be Twittering today, so if anyone is into Twittering, please feel free to send your tweets to #lib20, so it's #LIB20. If you haven't noticed this already, this auditorium was built before any of these technologies were available. So the signal can sometimes be weak when we have a big group of people. The signal is strongest in the back, so it won't hurt our feelings if people are crowded in the back as we progress throughout the day. We also don't have electrical capability to accommodate all of these people. So there are plenty of outlets in the registration room, room 122, and in the dining hall, so we can all charge up later. Hopefully you had a chance to pick up the schedule. There's more information available on our website, which I mentioned before, isp.law.yale.edu. We have the speakers' bios, we have information about the Information Society Project, and the program committee and other useful information there. We tried to minimize the amount of paper that we used. So those are some of the electronic things. I also wanted to mention that we're going to have an extemporaneous exercise in an intellectual exchange of ideas here. It's very informal. We'd like to encourage the formation of birds of a feather groups during lunch. So, for example, is Stephen Schultz here yet? He's going to organize a birds of a feather group on Pacer. We also will have one. Emma Lonzo, who's up here in the front, she's going to organize one on the Google Book settlement, and I know that we're going to have others as well. So think about, during the first panel, whether you would like to organize a Birds of a Feather group, and then approach me during the break and tell me what it will be on, and then I'll announce it before the second panel. So we will do that. And it will really be wonderful to see how the day proceeds, both digitally and in person with these informal interactions. Finally, I would like to say a special thanks and acknowledge that this symposium is made possible by the generosity of the Oscar M. Rupphausen Fund at Yale Law School. So we truly appreciate this generosity.